You have surely seen the Wizard of Oz movie. A film for children where we were afraid of the bad witch and the good witch gave safety. We've learned that the things we want to achieve, our desires, can be found deep inside of ourselves. Be it courage, love, or finding the yellow brick road. And of course, we learn that no matter how many adventures, interesting things we live through, it's good everywhere, but it's best at home. For me, there is a more important lesson that I want to talk about today. This is the adventure game called life, where the characters I started the game with as a child come back over and over again. Have you ever realized that? Stay with me and I'll tell you how it happens in my world. Let's get started. The first 5 to 6 years of our lives are all about getting the patterns that will accompany us through our whole life. No, I'm not talking about things that are taught to us, I'm talking about things that we observe and experience with all our senses. And even beyond that. So these first 5 to 6 years are all about mastering the technique of getting energy. What energy am I talking about? The energy we're getting from other people's attention. This is what provides creativity, that gets us going, and without this energy we just wither. So it's crucial to learn how to get it from others. It is well known that this forms the basis of our personality. It is also known that we are not the same, and we form a behavior pattern with every character in our early life, since we can extract energy from each person in a different way. So basically, our personality depends on the person whom we have a relationship with. At the same time, no one talks about the technical background. I mean that this behavioral pattern is going to be stored somewhere. There must be a hard drive and of course a program that runs based on the stored data and shapes the course of our lives. This is the DNA, where our ancestors have stored their own data that we have inherited from them. So what do we still store in our DNA besides these patterns? Every circumstance that happened when we have built a relationship with a character in our lives. Literally everything. The location, all the physical and emotional circumstances, the characteristics of those events that eventually contributed to our behavior patterns and personality. Let me bring you a personal example. When I was 3, my father left us and applied for a loan with his new family and asked for my mother to be the guarantor. Despite the absurdity of the situation, my mother agreed to help them. My father died when I was 6, and as a guarantor all the debt went straight to my mother. And I tried to compensate by being a good kid so I don't cause her more pain. I was worried about her. Fate brought me together with 3 women in my life who were left by their husbands and got stuck with all their debts, and naturally I wanted to save them. But what was it all about for me? I learned how to get energy from my mother. I applied through my life more than once in my relationships, and even the people were in the same situation as my mother was, and the circumstances were identical. With other people I follow other behavior patterns that I learned in my childhood. You think it's a bit far-fetched? Just think about it. Who does your significant other reminds you of from your childhood? You're not happy in your relationship? Your partner makes you crazy? You're just reenacting a childhood relationship and you're reliving it over and over again. Why do we repeat these patterns throughout our lives? Because in our childhood we learned how we can gain energy, and this is the key to survival. Of course, this is an illusion because the true energy is in us in the present. If you stop for a second and pay attention to your breath, in that moment you're not living the stored program, but the energy you need will emerge from an internal source from within you. The real lesson is not to take energy from others, because we have enough in ourselves. Actually, it's endless. It's endless love.